Do you want that number? That's who we gotta call to find out what we did wrong with that I thought he told me something. But I don't know that ours or budget, I turn that text on, we don't have to take that as for information. I used to have it, but I switched phones twice. I broke my own phone. I just had 4 pair of shoes and I just think you don't realize how much you use it in the car.
For any of them, really.
I turn around in the Western Star, you turn around and walk out like you're going downstairs. That last step, somehow I missed it. I leaned on my foot. But I reached it was black as an ace of spades, and top end. That's over a week ago.
They don't do it.
Okay, if I could have your attention, please, we'll get our October council meeting started. We'll have our opening by Mr. Albert Carpenter. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance by Dexter Golden and our invocation by Marty Cashin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for all the blessings you blessed each of us here tonight. We thank you for this county and this community that we live in. Lord, we thank you for your Son, Jesus, who died on the cross for our sins. Lord, we pray that you be with us here tonight. May we make the decisions that's best for this county and this community. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
If we could have roll call, Miss Lacy.
Robert Bracewell.
Here.
Sunny Ray Moorhead.
Here.
Marty Cashin.
Here.
Arvis Bobo.
Here.
Bradley Dye.
Here.
Shane Taylor. Amy Cashin.
Here.
Jimmy Hammond.
Here.
John Taylor.
Here.
Gerald Burnett.
Here.
Dexter Golden.
Here.
Douglas Carson.
Here.
Houston Lindsay. Peggy Sue Blackburn.
Here.
Greg Gwynn.
Here.
We have 13 present, so we do have a quorum. Should have received in your packet a copy of the minutes from the September meeting. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. In our public comment section, we do have Mr. Troy Woods from the Gateway Company. Will you speak with us?
Go ahead now.
Sure.
Thank you for letting me come. I'm Troy Woodis, as she said, with the Gateway Companies. We are based in Florence, Alabama. We've been in business since 1983. We're a tax credit, affordable workforce housing, multifamily developers. We own approximately 9,000 doors. We have a management company that manages approximately 17,000 doors. We're proposing to build 42 multifamily units on 5.1 acres directly behind the co-op. If you look in the packet that I left on the table, it's got a copy of the tax parcel, which I'm sure you guys are all aware of where the property is. I'd like to do like a quick timeline. I know I only have 5 minutes of how Gateway got to Moore County and then how I got to this podium. So through the Tennessee Housing Development Agency, they have a competitive process for affordable housing within the state, and there's a cycle every year. They put out a county need score, which is in your packet, and actually for 3 years in a row, Moore County was the #1 county in Pool 3. I looked here a few years ago. I came and met with the mayor and took a run at a couple pieces of property, but never could get anything worked out. So I came back this year in late December, early January, and I contacted Mr. Fanning about the 5.1 acres behind the co-op, and he in fact said he would like to sell it, and I asked him would he be willing to let us go through a rezoning to make sure that we could use the property for what we wanted to. He informed me that the property was already zoned for multifamily. So from there, in late January, we put the property under contract. Sometime in the February, March range, I contacted Christine at the Planning and Zoning about the process to do a variance. And the reason I did that is because the property, if you do the math, is under the old R1 zoning, is what I'm talking about. The property was zoned for 43.69 units. But according to the setbacks and all the other criteria, we could meet all of that and do 64 units. And so I contacted her about the possibility of getting a variance. From there is when Mr. Golden reached out to me, and we had a good conversation, and he explained to me that it wouldn't be possible to get a variance there for certain things, like we're a foot away from meeting the setback or something, and so he told me that would not be possible. So at that point, along that same time, let me back up, along that same time I contacted Ronnie with the water and sewer and asked him about the availability of water and sewer for 64 units, and which he told me would be available. I turned around and went back to him and said, the variance is not possible, can we do 44 units? And he said yes. If you see in the packet, I've got letters in there from the Moore County Utilities, Electric, and also a zoning letter. So after all the events that I've gone through so far, I talked to Mr. Golden again about getting our zoning letter signed, and I got on the agenda to go to the April 1st planning board meeting, and it was to do two things. It was one, to introduce myself and our company, just like I've just done here tonight, and also to try to get our zoning letter signed. At that meeting, there was, normal questions that we get everywhere we go. There was I explained the process of how how everything works with the application to THDA, which was due on April the 15th, and this was on April the 1st. And that the awards for our development, if we won, are usually in August and September. You find out who wins the award. And the way this works is that they fund one development in each pool, and then if they have any more money, which they hardly ever do, they'll start back with the highest scoring number 2 development until the money runs out. So there's never a threat for 2 developments in a pool to get award. So Mr. Golden did not feel comfortable that night signing the zoning letter that I asked him to sign at the planning board meeting without the attorney reviewing it. And so one would assume he gave it to the attorney that night or the next day, because later on April the 2nd, the following day, the mayor sent me a signed zoning letter, which is in the packet. In that zoning letter, you'll see where I highlighted the 44 and also on the utility letters. I did that because I was hoping to be able to get to do 44 units, because the way the math worked out on 5.1 acres per the criteria for the number of units that could go under the old R1, it was 43.69. But the planning and zoning didn't feel comfortable telling me I could step up to 44. So as you can see, the way the units are stacked, an odd number would have had an odd unit, so we stepped back to 42. So that's the reason for that. One other thing on this scoring sheet I wanted to point out is most of the time, almost all the time, when a county gets funded, they drop almost, if not, to the bottom. These boards that you see over here and the pictures that are in y'all's packet, that's a development that we just finished and leased up in the spring over in Hohenwald in Lewis County that we got a tax credit award on 3 years ago. As you can see, they drop to the bottom. So again, there's never a threat of someone coming back the next year because the way you drop down. The only way you don't drop too far is if you're in pool 1 or pool 2, and you can see that's all your major metros in Tennessee, and they just cycle around 1, 2, 3, and 4 every year. They never drop. So after leaving the planning and zoning, we sit and wait. One other thing at the planning and zoning meeting that's in your packet also, I submitted a site plan. Although it's not an engineered site plan, as I explained it in the meeting that night, the state only requires us at application to do a schematic of what we're proposing. It can change. It can't change much. You can't change the unit count. You can't change the survey as far as the exact parcel of property. But you can have on your schematic a retention pond over here, and it have to move over here when you get into engineering. So I did show that at the planning board meeting that night. Fast forward, we sit back and wait. In early July, we started getting our questions from THDA, and our questions were only general questions. There was no phase 1 problems. There was no financial problems as far as our financial package we submitted or anything else. So we had seen the list. They put out a list of everybody that applies in the whole state. And so we, when we had seen the list, we knew that we were going to win the award for Pool 3. And so I reached out to, again, Christine at Planning and Zoning about what I would have to do to submit a site plan. We wanted to get ahead of the game before the actual award came out. I said earlier the awards normally come out in August or September. They in fact came out July 30th this year, and we did get the award. When I contacted her about that, she proceeded to tell me that the zoning had been changed. Out of R1, no longer multifamily was permitted. So it was the first we had heard of it. Called a landowner, he hadn't heard anything about it. And when the THDA put the list out, we realized there was actually a second application in Moore County, which we did not know about till the list came out. That developer reached out to us and said, hey, they pulled their zoning. And so at that point, Mr. Golden and I had another conversation or two, and so he told me that it's primarily, because of the water and sewer capacity that, he came in here to this body and got the zoning pulled out, moved over into commercial where they could regulate it better. So on August the 12th, I just came to town and I went and met with the mayor and kind of vented my frustrations on having the zoning pulled out from under us when knowing that the project was out there but we would not know about the award until sometime in August or September. And he suggested that I come before this body, and I was actually scheduled to come last month, but you can see why I was not here. From that, I also went to the Moore County Utilities Board meeting that night. Did the same thing I've done here in an abbreviated version. I introduced myself, told them what we do, asked them was there anything special I needed to know. They said no. There was no problem with us pushing forward to work everything through Ronnie, and that we would build it, they would inspect it, and welcome to Moore County, and anything they could do to help us, they would. So from there, I'm basically in here tonight to ask, with everything that I've said, can we continue on under the old zoning? I have a water and sewer letter. I have been to the water and sewer board meeting, and they said there's no issue with utilities. This is a $8 or $9 million investment for us. On top of the utility tap fees we'll pay, the building permits we'll have to pay for, the monthly utility usage that we will, that'll be a revenue stream. Right now, currently, the property taxes on that 5.1 acres is $458. We know from doing business in Tennessee in the past what property taxes are, and we know that they will be around $75,000 a year. That alone is a huge revenue stream for Moore County. Not to mention having 42 families across the street from the only grocery store in town, and in close proximity to the downtown with restaurants and shops and other.
I want to ask you keep referring to tax credit property.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should let everybody here know that that's a Section 8.
Okay,
That's redefined. They've changed the verbiage, but it's still Section 8, and you still go under most of the guidelines.
So we are not a Section 8 developer.
Well,
And
tax
so-
credit is Section 8.
No, so.
I did apartments for a long time. I managed them.
So there are different programs, and there is a Section 8. There are the Section 8 developments. Those are called project-based developments. We are not a project-based development. We get tax credits. They're administered through the federal government, through the states. We get tax credits, and we take those tax credits and buy our loan down, and for doing that, we commit to putting our units in the affordable program for 30 years. Every state's different. Tennessee requires you to do a land use restriction covenant, and it runs for 30 years. We cannot sell the property, and we cannot take it out of the program. At 15 years, we can go back to the state and ask for more credits, it's also stored and to do a complete rehab of the development. And that's, windows, roofs, new appliances, cabinets, a complete renovation of the development. But this is not a project-based development, and there is a difference in it. To her point, it all does flow through the federal government, through the tax credit money. It does, but we are not a Section 8 developer. So that is not what we're doing. So again, I'm just here to ask that, we feel like we were somewhat in the hopper because I've been to planning and zoning. They knew about our development. They also knew that it would not, that we would not get the official word until August or September. But 20 days after I was in there, and there was no talk of it, the night I was in there was zero talk about changing the zoning. And 20 days later, you come in here and pull it out from under us. And not only pulled it out from under us, but pulled it out from under the other developer too that was in A1. And I was in R1.
Do you own the property now?
We do not own the property now. We have it under contract, and we would, at this point, would be pushing toward closing had this issue not come up. And I'm just here to ask, I really, in all honesty, there's not anyone sitting around this table that if you were standing here in my shoes, spent the money we spent, came up here and did what I was supposed to do as far as going to planning and zoning and letting them know about the project and the development, I don't know how you can say that it's fair to pull the zoning out from under us. And all I'm asking is to be able to continue on under the old R1 and build the 42 units. And so that's why I'm here.
My question is,
Okay.
you stated that it is not Section 8. So give us an idea or a picture of what it's going to look like once everything's built, maybe how much it's going to cost, or how much rental fees will be. Give us an other side of the build picture.
So you're asking me what the rents will be?
Right, and expectations and what, if I was going to rent there, what would I?
Okay, so if
walk
you were
into?
going to rent there, you'd have to pass a criminal background check and a financial background check to start with.
Okay.
And then the rents will range, and the financial background check is and the criminal both is, we do that on all of our developments. We do that. We manage, like I said, 17,000 doors. So the math obviously tells you that we manage for other people that do the same thing we do. The rents are going to run somewhere between $590 and $8 for a 1-bedroom, and up to around $815 for a 3-bedroom. 2 will be around $725. Okay, and we have to maintain the property. We have a great reputation for maintaining our properties, even outside of the guidelines that the program requires you to do. That's why we manage for other people that do the same thing we do.
How is this score determined by the state? What requirements?
It's way over my head. They put in, there's so many different mechanisms that go into their scoring. I absolutely could not tell you. They're the only state that does it this way, I will tell you that. In other states, and I don't want to get off on all that, but Georgia, for instance, they have so many scoring layers. You have to be so close to elementary, middle, and high school that pass, they have passed what they call a beating the odds. You have to be close to a grocery store, doctor, banks, church, rec centers. There are so many scoring layers. I think Tennessee takes all those things into account and does some kind of, I'm stepping here to tell you something, I really don't know how they get to that number. And how they break it down. I just know from past experience when like us, when we got the deal funded in Lewis County, the very next year it was last. And it's worked its way up to 4 from the bottom now, but how they come to that number, I don't know.
Troy, you said you and another developer were in the running for this. One of y'all, would you say one of y'all were guaranteed to get this, or was this just by chance?
So, yeah, so that's a good, the only way we would not have gotten it, and Trousdale County, and there was a developer that submitted in Trousdale County, but the only way that one of the two of us would have not gotten funded is if we got kicked out for some environmental reason in our application or something, didn't dot an I or cross a T. There was a way that both of us could have gotten kicked out. But when they sent the list out, so one of the ways you win in Tennessee a tax credit award is whoever asks for the least amount of tax credits per unit. So it's not that I'm asking to do 42 units and the other guy, I don't even know how many units he was asking to do, but I'm just hypothetically say 60. I don't win because I'm asking for 42 and he's asking for 60. I win because I asked for this amount of tax credits per unit on my 42 units. He asked for this amount of tax credits for his ever how many units he was doing. There was a way, but it wasn't.
And
When we started getting our questions, we can tell by the questions that they ask if we're fixing to have a phase 1 problem, we're going to do a phase 2, there's some runoff, there's some this, there's some that. We can tell. And when they ask us our questions, they were general questions. And so we knew then that, we would win.
And again, Mr. Jimmy asking the question, y'all did not own the property at that time when you came before us, correct?
No, didn't own it then, don't own it now.
And with, all due respect that we had good conversations. You've been real good to talk to, over the phone and deal with, so no issues there. But with y'all not owning the property and there being a chance that you might not have won what you were seeking for, there was nothing in the works. What we went on and what we looked at was being at a close to 80% max capacity on water. So yes, that still means what I understand, and anybody on the water can correct me if I'm wrong, we can still issue, but you're creeping toward that number of you need to be coming up with a 10-year plan. You could get there faster or slower, depending on how many developments come into town, is what I understand. So that is what, we had looked at here, whenever we had talked about it, is how quickly we're going to get there by this happening. So I don't necessarily look at it as anybody pulled the rug out from underneath anybody, considering that you could have lost both parties and you did not own the property and there was not a legit site plan in the works. So pulling the rug out, I struggle with that a little bit. But again, been great to talk to, good to deal with. I just want to let that be understood here. There is a chance y'all might not have got it, and we looked at being more proactive in that situation than getting behind. What would you say y'all's reviews are? You said y'all manage 17,000 doors. Where would you say you're at on review?
There's a million ways you can look at that, and
What about just a Google review?
I have no idea because I work on the development side. I don't work on the management side. I can say that on the management side, you don't manage 17,000 doors without there being issues. You don't manage 17,000 doors without there being a negative comment. With that said, on properties that we do not own, all we can do is manage them. If the owner does not want to maintain them or do the things that we do with the properties that we own, we have two options. One is to keep managing that property the way the owner, maintains it, or tell them we don't want to manage for them anymore. So I mean, you can find something negative out there if you wanna look, but that's, when you circle it all the way back around, that's probably where the underlier is gonna be.
My concern with that, and I'll tell you the reviews, from 3 weeks old to 2 months, there's several lower end ones. I won't speak to that, anybody's welcome to look that up. And if y'all are a reputable business, as you say, it concerns me that you're willing to keep your name tied to something regardless of how somebody else wants to manage it.
So again, that's the
concerns me.
management company, and we don't always keep our name tied to it, but as you know, you can't control social media, you can't control Google reviews. Once somebody puts it out there, that doesn't mean it's the gospel, but it's out there, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just at the cyber world's, you know.
How many kids do you think this would influx the school system? Have you done a study impact on that, or?
On 42 units, you know, it's probably in the market study, but I can't answer that. We have, on 42 units, it would not be anything drastic. There's just not enough units there for it to be a drastic impact.
How many 2-bedrooms are you gonna have?
Yeah, you can read, I can't, my eyes won't let me look at that, but I've got notes right here. We're gonna have 8 1-bedrooms, 22 2s, and 12 3s.
So you figure 1 to 2 children per bedroom, except for your 1-bedroom. And they can, Tennessee state law, you can put people in the living room. So you're talking about a possible 36 and a possible
Where is
44 children.
About 5% of the
So-
student population. About 5% of student population.
That is, that development is this. It's the one we did in Lewis County and Howard
How
Mall.
many units is that?
I think we did 56 units over there.
How many acres?
About 7. Had a lot of topo to it. It was, you know, they actually, that's another thing. You can call our mayor over there, he begged us to build more units. That, you know, that they can tell you how good we've been to work with. We did everything they asked us to do. And, you know, all this is at no burden to the county. I mean, they'll size the water meter, we're gonna pay for it. You know, everything's on us.
I'm gonna say this with that, and I'm not knocking it all, I just want this understood here, and maybe you'll get an idea of why the people sitting in these chairs are a bit concerned. I'd say there was, 4 years ago, we had a gentleman stand up here, a developer, the same thing, the mayor from the other county begged him to be back, no cost to y'all, no effect on y'all, and we're dealing with some of those repercussions now, years later. So again, nobody looked at it here as pulling the rug out, we looked at it as being proactive, because we've been took around a time or two with it. So I respect you saying that, but I'm a little cautious when somebody stands up there and tells me that again. Sorry, that's just.
To add to that, that developer has bought more land, so anything we do for him, we have to do it for him, or we're facing a lawsuit.
Have to agree.
Because he already owns some property that he can develop.
I'm not following what you're saying, Peggy, I'm sorry.
The other developer
Yeah.
already owns some property that he can develop. So if he comes up here and asks us to do the same thing, and we say no, and we do it for him, then we're looking at a lawsuit probably.
It's different zoning, it's different. I understand what you're saying, yes, but it's different. I'm not concerned with that, but I want you to understand, nobody's sitting here, in my opinion, I'm not speaking here for anybody, but I am a bit concerned with anybody coming into the town and standing up there now saying that another town's begging for them to come back, or there's no burden to you down the road with it, no cost to us. At the
There's
end
no
of the
cost to
day,
you on the front end as far as our development. We take care of everything from the street back. That's what I mean by that.
at the end of the day, I still stand on this, that you will never outweigh the cost of what it takes to build your infrastructure up. You're always gonna have to continue to grow, yes. I'm not saying the county's gonna die because we're not gonna let anything happen, but, you know, if we are operating at close to 80%, and I don't have those numbers in front of me, I'm sure we could get those, but if we are there, and there is a 10-year plan that needs to be set forward.
We have a plan in place.
You do have a plan in place? What does that look like price-wise for the county?
It's gonna be funded through the water board, but we do have a plan in place for sewer upgrade. And as far as the water, we're at 40-something% with the new meters. We're gonna get that up.
The sewer can handle is what I understood.
The manager's sitting over there, we don't have a water issue, but 44 units.
Well, we was told 3 months ago we was we're close to 80%.
80% is what we have.
What is it? So where are we at with the water?
We're right there close to that 8%, but still though, we can get them departments on there. Because you're going to look, Jack Daniels don't tell us when they grow. So I got a phone call.
But with you having the upgrade, my question is the cost.
Whatever, right? I
It
mean,
doesn't
we,
fit his needs now.
what do you mean?
It cuts him down,
Okay.
unit-wise. What does it cost whenever we have to go through this upgrade is what I'm curious on. I mean, what does people's water bills go to?
You come to our water board and Dexter, he'll get you all that information out of there.
Is our development gonna, would our development cost you to have to do any kind of upgrades to tie on 42 units? So there would be no burden at this point. I can't speak for the next guy that comes down the road that might add to it at some point. I get it. You know, I'm on the utility board where I live. I get it. But our development will not cause them to have to do anything different.
Hold on just a second. Did you have something, Mr. Glenn?
I would like to say something.
Okay.
You know, y'all, since I've been on the board, nobody from planning commissions ever come to the water department or the board meeting and asked about our problem. Yes, we've got a little bit of a problem. That plant would produce 34 million gallons a month. We are averaging 24 million gallons a month. That's 10 million gallons. Our biggest user is Jack Daniels, 6 million gallons a month just for the production side of it. Okay, y'all know whether or not do about this. Jack Daniels is not looking like a great opportunity right now. And we're living off of them always. If we don't get customers, yes, our water bill is gonna go like that. Yes, we are talking about expanding. We're looking at it because of the future. Not just right now, and we're not gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna be down the road, and our average family is figured in Tennessee, 4,000 gallons a month. Well, one bedroom is not gonna use that, and we've got people here in the county use less than 1,000 gallons a month. That's 160,000 gallons. And it would not cost us anything, but we would gain all the revenue, because we're not gonna have nothing on it. All we're gonna do is put a meter in, and they're gonna pay for the meter. And then we read the meter, collect the money. And we gotta have customers like this.
And if he's,
How much water do we buy outside the county?
It all depends on, the usage like you tell the home on both sides.
So
It's not a whole lot. Don't we get bulk rate.
So with that being said, were you unable to supply all of our residents with water while we buy it from Tullahoma?
Well, Tullahoma's got water out there, the mail way, you always got a lot of water out there. And one tank over here on Griffin feeds everybody in the county. So that's why we're buying Griffin Road, water on Griffin Road.
Is the future plans are to buy the lines out from Tullahoma, Winchester?
So it costs more to do all that, but we're looking at that lines, water. What did you say?
I was asking about the future plans, if they were to buy the Tullahoma
Hey, we
lines
tried to.
and the
Yeah.
Winchester.
Don't forget, son, you wouldn't stop, you have to stop there.
Yeah.
We had it fall
Glenn,
about 6 years
Glenn,
ago.
I wasn't talking to you.
I guess
Here.
I want to go back to where we are right now.
please.
So, we do have a zone for multifamily units, right? It might not be what your land is zoned at today, but we do have a zone that is zoned for multifamily units.
And it's also, that it got moved to C1, and it also has a limit of 25 units. We cannot change the scope of the project. And also, because we got this tax credit award, if we turn it back in, then we get in the penalty box in Tennessee for 2 or 3 years, so as far as getting another deal. And so we cannot change the scope of the project. We can't add, we can't take it. We have to do 42 units, and we have to do it on that 5.1 acres. Again, like I said, well, there's little things we can change, parking, layout, flood, retention, all that, but we cannot change the general scope of the project. That will not work to go to be limited to 25 units.
So you have to build 42 units, and it is restricted to the number of acres, or you could expand the number of acres where you
Now,
could get 42?
The schematic that we turned in, again, not the engineer, even though an engineer did do that, it's not an engineered stamp site plan. That schematic we turned in on 5.1 acres. We also had to turn in the tax parcel information, survey all the things. That 5.1 acres cannot move.
Do you automatically get ahead if you were to purchase more ground connecting to this to expand this project since you're already in the system with it? Like, are you automatically gonna get another contract 10 years from now if your company wanted to expand since you already have one there?
Every year, no, every year it's competitive, and you start back at ground zero. And that's, I obviously can't speak for TDC, but looking at how things have happened in the past with Lewis County falling to the bottom, if we wanted to go back to Lewis County, we couldn't. Saying that to say, the other guy can't come back because it's not going to score. I mean, Moore County's going to be down close to the bottom, so he would never win. I'm saying those things to say there's not going to be somebody next year. If there is, they're not going to make it because they're not going to score.
I'd like to make a point of order. The gentleman that's seated is 5 minutes, a long time here.
I guess I would like to know what our options are. I think we've heard your information, and I appreciate your input. I think what we have to determine is what, if anything, are our options. If we want options, if we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've heard what he has to say. He's brought us all the information. Now, we have to determine if there are options. If there are, what are they? And do we want any of those options? Because obviously, we as a board made changes to the zones for reasons for our community. As a board, we heard the proposals of why we might or might not change them, what we would change them to, and it was decided as a board what those rules would be. So now we have to figure out what the options are, if any, and then how to go forward.
Yeah, understood, and that's simply what I'm asking is there a mechanism for this body to let us go forward under the R1 and build the 42 units?
Madam Chair, I think even if we wanted to, we'd have to go through 2 readings, changing the ordinance back, and then, assuming we wanted to keep the same information, change it back again.
Whatever happens, you're at least 2 months out, because if we change the ruling back, that's 2 months. If that property has to be rezoned, it's 2 months. So you're at least 2 months away from any change to happen.
Okay.
So I think, I'm open to hear what you guys have in mind. What is the wish of the body?
I got a question about something, and this was brought up, not about this, but if it's not on the agenda, can we just have to add it to the agenda before we vote on it? If we
I
decide
mean,
to
we're
do-
not necessarily taking action right now. We've heard.
No, I'm talking about over anything, like if we decided to take an action on anything, we have to add it to the agenda?
No, I mean, we have a section on here where council members can have questions or comments.
That's what I
So
thought.
it's, yes, it's the wish of this board to make a motion or not about any action. But it's a 2-month process, right? Whatever the option is.
Maybe we should just decide tonight if we want the coach to review it again and see what they come up with.
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
know what else to do,
She
because
said
we're
maybe we
treading,
should send it back to planning and
we're
zoning.
treading on thin ice here, because we got not just him, but we got another developer that we gotta think about. That maybe it's zoned different, but, you know, we gotta really be careful of what we do.
Well, I think like Mr. Golden was saying, you know, we were trying to be proactive about what we thought would be good for our community. As you all know, and this has nothing to do with you, but there have been several things in the community as of late that, you know, people are not happy with. So instead of us just taking action, you know, what do we want our community to look like? What is it? What do we need to do for our infrastructure? All things considered. So it has nothing to do with you or your company or any of that. So,
I make a motion, it goes back to the board and see what they come up with.
Can I just,
Yeah.
before so, we have a volunteer fire department, and we also don't have building codes. So what codes are you guys gonna build these things to?
So,
Are you,
They
does the
have to
state
build
dictate?
state codes.
yes, anytime we build, it's not a, city or county fire department, it's volunteer. We fall under the state fire marshal, they do all we fall under them, and they do all the inspections and all the everything. They tell us where to put fire plugs on the site or not on the site, whatever. That's what. And then as far as building codes, we would fall under whatever Tennessee uses, which is more than likely the international building code, but I can't say that for sure. Some of the other states use the international, they may use a different one, but whatever it is, we fall under that, under those codes. You know, we recently did a development, and we're actually fixing to do a second one, in Alabama Scores District, so let me put that out there. But we just finished one in Andalusia, Alabama. It was in the county, but on the city limit line. We actually paid the city building inspector to come do inspections for us. You know, we want it right. You know, we gotta live with it. We also gotta live with the people that's living in it.
Are you guys gonna have a building inspector come throughout this project?
So,
Sign off?
Yes, I mean, obviously whoever would govern the international building code for the state, but also, our project engineers do, monthly inspections also.
Thank you.
Let me back up. The architect and the engineers both do inspections and reports.
I'm curious about this need score and what it really means. That doesn't, is it the need of the citizens of Moore County and what they need, or is it
All right, so
something else? Because
like I answered the gentleman over here, I do not know how they come up with that number, but I will tell you, we did a market study, we have to do a market study at application. And these things are about 100 pages long. They got a lot of stuff in there that you or I either want to go sit and read. But in that study, I pulled the page out of it that I can tell you what in Moore County, according to the market study, there is a need for 699 one-bedroom, 676 two-bedroom, 328 three-bedroom rental units. And that can be a one-bedroom house. It doesn't have to be an apartment. But that is what was in the market study as far as a need for Moore County.
It's a quarter of our population.
population.
People that like want to move here, or people that are here that don't have a home?
Probably a little bit
I don't
both.
understand.
So that's the thing, how are you, you're saying need is a necessity. Like, what's the, do you know what the turnover rates are in these apartments?
Depends on if they pay their rent.
That's right.
Okay.
They do have to pay their rent because there is no monthly subsidy.
And since HUD started offering subsidized government housing, do you know if the average age of the American purchasing homes has gone up or down?
I have no idea.
The age of people buying their first homes has gone up, home ownership has gone down. These programs aren't lifting people out of poverty. It's not a net positive for a community. You're concentrating, hopefully families, probably not, into this area and then dumping them off on our school systems. Doing the math a minute ago, it was about 5% of our student population. I'm not sure how you got to the 70,000 in property taxes. Even if that is accurate, those would be better served in single-family homes. Because everybody knows where I'm at on property taxes, but the county's gonna get more for a single-family home than they are a three-bedroom apartment. And every constituent that I've talked to is opposed to apartments in general, not just subsidized apartments. But it appears to me that your business model is risk mitigation. You didn't purchase the property. You left it out there until you got the okay to get the government funds, and then you're taking those funds from us to pay for it, and then in 15 years, you're gonna make more money on it, all the while we're paying more in property taxes to subsidize the people living there. So just
I hear what you're
face value,
saying,
that's,
and you know, but we didn't take any money from the county. That money's in the federal section IRS 42 code.
We pay federal
people that pay
taxes.
taxes.
You wanna rethink that statement?
Okay.
But you said we took
pay
money from
taxes.
Moore County. So I'm just, you know, I'm here. I'm here to ask to be able to continue on under the old R1.
All right, thank you. So I think we have a motion on the floor to have this go back to planning and zoning. Is there a second for that motion? Okay, we will move on. All right, so under elections and appointments, we do have Eugene Cartwright as notary public and Paige P. Gunn as notary public. Is there a motion to approve these?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. Ms. Peggy Sue has a motion. Is there a second?
I see.
Marty with the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You should have a list in front of you of the council committees. It is that time of year for us to approve our council committees. These should look very familiar. Is there a motion to approve the committee list?
I'll I'll make a motion to approve the committee list.
Is there a second? Dexter with a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Under new business, we have budget amendment for the health department employees. There is information in the packet for that. Is there a motion to approve the budget amendment for the health department?
I'll make the motion.
Bradley with the motion. Jimmy with the second. Any discussion?
This is just retention, pay increases, is what I understood.
Retro pay.
Retro.
Yeah, they gave them raises dated back.
Just reimbursed back.
Reimbursed, yeah. So, Ms. Lacy, if you could do roll call for us?
Craig Gwynn,
Yes.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Arvis Bobo,
Yes.
Marty Cash, Sandy Ray Moorhead, Robert Breslow.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is we have letters from the comptroller for the budget, the trend, and the textbooks. All of that is information only, no action to be taken. All of that information is in your packet. The next one is the approval for report on debt obligation trend. Put my finger on that. Here we go. Report on debt obligation. Is there a motion? Do we need a motion for that? Or just a report?
You better do it, so we gotta send this to me and send the comptroller along with the report.
So is this just an acknowledgement?
Yeah, that y'all saw the debt obligation, so y'all approved the trend last month. This is follow
I'll
up.
make the motion.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
We get as many minutes as we can to send to them out there.
Bradley made the motion. Okay, is there a second? Marty with the second. I think this is all in favor.
It is.
Say aye. Any opposed? You didn't see it?
No, I saw it.
I thought that's what we were doing, is just saying that we saw it, because this was something we voted on last month. But, okay.
We voted
so
no last month.
We'll do a roll call, Miss Lacy. I think Robert will see the no.
Robert Breslow,
No.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Marty Cashin, Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Arvis Bobo,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond, John Taylor,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
No.
Greg Gwynn.
Yes.
We approved. All right, next we have a budget amendment for TCRS. Is there a motion to approve that amendment? Gerald, the motion, is there a second? Marty with the second. Any discussion? If not, Miss Lacy, if you'll do roll call for us?
Greg Gwen,
Yes.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
No.
Douglas Carson,
Because I'm an employee of the Metro County Sheriff's Department, I have a conflict of interest with respect to this matter. With respect to the appropriation of the Sheriff's Department, which includes the proposal about to be voted on, however, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to the conscience and the obligation of my constituents and the citizens that the body represents. Accordingly, I abstain from voting on the appropriation for the Sheriff's Department in this resolution and vote in favor of the resolution in respect to all of the appropriations. Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Arvis Bobo,
Yes.
Marty Cashin, Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell.
No.
Okay, so that passes. So next we have the first reading of rezoning of map 046, parcel 025 from A1 to R2. Should have information on this in your packet. Preston Ridge Road. Is there a motion to approve the first reading?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Douglas, the motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Dexter, second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we do have rezoning map 043, parcel 22.03 from A1 to R2. You have information in your packet about this piece of property. Looks like it's Bull Run Road. Is there a motion to approve that rezoning? Dexter and Jimmy. Any discussion?
I just want to ask, why are they going to R2 instead of
All the ones in town, urban service.
Okay. No other questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? We will have a public hearing next month. We'll do 6:20 again for those rezonings. Now we'll entertain a motion for the second reading from last month, your map 036, parcel 014.01 from A1 to R2. This will be the second reading. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
John,
I'll second.
Douglas, second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. Rezoning of map 014, parcel 006.01 from A1 to R2. This is second reading. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Dexter, Douglas. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Do have in your packet information about the September building permits, fees, and activity. This is for information only. Next, we have church building permit. Is there discussion?
What we had a church come in, looking to expand, and, which of course they fell under the permit fee cost. And I had brought it up to the board, we discussed about possibly lowering it for churches as long as they met the 501c3 requirements. For the tax exemption purposes that they get, we thought maybe we could lower the church permitting for them to expand, or even do away with it on the churches. I just thought we would bring that here to see y'all's thoughts on it, have a discussion about it, so that we would know what to do as a board. I'm okay with lowering it for, again, churches. I guess there could be some conflicts there if everybody turned into all of a sudden a 501c3. You'd have to be wary of that. Again, it's discussion, y'all, with ideas, y'all.
My question on that would go back to what I brought up before, and what's the purpose of those building permits? Is it to generate revenue or defray costs? If it's to defray costs, then the churches, I'd be for them paying the same as everyone else. If they're making the county work on their behalf, the county should get paid for it, but if it's to generate revenue, we should do away with it, or at least reduce it. That's my opinion.
No real direction on that. If anybody doesn't have any feelings toward that, we'll leave that as it is. It's already in the book. We'll continue to vote on it. So stop with bring it here in case anybody thought they wanted to cut that in half or do away with it. That's all it was, just a discussion. Thank you, Ron.
I say do away with it. On churches.
I still think they should be subject to the same restrictions, though. I mean, they,
Oh, yes.
church can't come in and just.
No, they would follow the same rules, it's just the permitting fees.
Yeah, there's a thing in your thing is, what should they turn in, I think just the same as everybody else.
Yes, they would still submit the same site plans or, whatever, but it's just strictly for what their cost would be in the office when they do that.
Those churches give back to the community a lot, donations, so I feel like that they're.
A lot of things, I mean, this is within, local community, again, they would have to still have all their documentation to prove they are, if I, want to see a contracting group all of a sudden, not one of those things. That's the concerns we have.
I understand.
You gotta watch how this would turn into, would everybody be jumping on this? And
Well, how many churches have we had put in a building permit? We can go back and look at that over the last 10 years.
Right.
And then you can pretty much determine. I may be wrong.
No, that's right. And I can get you that information if y'all wanted it. And this is more or less y'all can think on it, and we can touch it again next month. I mean, it's not many, very little. So if y'all want to think on it, if y'all have any ideas, we can discuss it again next month. No problem. Just wanted that to be on everybody's mind. Thank y'all.
All right, any other council members have any questions or comments before we entertain a motion to adjourn?
I have one, and I'll make it quick, I'm sorry. We do have solar updates. If y'all want any of those, you can contact me or Tony Grove. He was doing water testing as of Friday. Some of the creeks are looking kind of murky from runoff, I'm sure with everything going on. We had several people contact us about the smoke. The board called, Tony's called, we've done our homework. They are, to our understanding from the state, they're in compliance. They're not doing anything out of the norm with the burning.
Are they required to have a burn permit?
So what I was actually just recently told, with how much ground they have of barren land, that is questionable right now. I don't know if they have to 100%. I know that starts as of last week.
Yeah, 5 days ago.
Yeah, so what I am being told, they do not even have to have a permit because of how much barren land they have now. But they are going forth, is what I understand, getting those permits. If they have to have them, they're in contact with the state. Again, Tony is out there on a regular. If y'all want any updates from him, I'm happy to share any of the emails and the findings. Just want to let y'all know that's where it's at.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. I have a motion to adjourn and a second. Anybody opposed to that?